What is up guys, welcome back to the channel, and we have reached the end of this month, which means it's time for us to check out another episode of top 10 brand new completely free to play games you can play right now during the month of June. From action adventure games to fighting games to racing games, even first person shooter games, there are so many games to check out, and of course all of these games are completely free to play. You can simply go ahead and download them from Steam. So without wasting any more time guys, let's jump in and start with our number 10. We got a brand new game called Drift Legends 2. So this one is a free-to-play drift racing simulation game that is all about precision drifting, stylish moves, and collecting sick rides. It got that arcade sim hybrid vibe and not overly realistic something like Assetto Corsa, and also not super arcadey either. The physics feel smooth, satisfying, and rewarding once you learn the weight and handling of the car. You start with a very basic vehicle and unlock better ones by leveling up and completing different challenges in the game. And there are more than 30 plus fully customizable vehicles available, all with different stats and handling. You can also tweak paint jobs, rims, full body kits, all those sort of stuff. And it's surprisingly polished for a free-to-play game. It doesn't have like AAA console-like graphics, but it's a very stylish game. It's definitely a cool one to check out, especially if you're into drift racing simulation style of games. Alright, recently I've been messing around with this new game called Gravebound on Steam, and I think it's a pretty cool one and it's definitely worth a peek. So imagine like a roguelike FPS game in a crypt full of magical guardians. So you basically drop into these arenas, blast waves of spooky enemies, and level up with artifacts, weapon upgrades, and of course with new spells. There's not much of a story or lore or anything like that. You simply jump into these arenas, try to survive as long as you can, and there's even an endless mode if you wanna push the limits. Right now there are only few arenas available in the game, so there's a bit of a question about replayability value, but it's feel neat and polished for an indie first-person shooter. It's just fun to drop in, experiment with spells, and just go for high scores, but don't expect like AAA graphics or gameplay. It's totally free to play, single player, and the game is very much playable even if you have a low-end PC or a laptop. Alright, next up we got Maximum Football, a free-to-play football simulation game basically trying to be the free alternative to Madden. The game just came out on early access on Steam, now it's a fully released title, and I think it's actually got a very big potential. The gameplay leans more toward the simulation style, kinda like old school Madden games, even a fully dynasty mode where you can manage a college program, recruit players, and do all those behind the scenes stuff. There's a good amount of customizability available in the game. You can edit teams, uniforms, logos, pretty much make your own football universe. Even though it came out in early access, still not a super polished game. Some animations still feel a bit clunky, AI still needs some work. There's a good amount of online features and game modes available, but for a free game, especially if you're into American football, it's definitely worth checking out right now. It won't replace Madden just yet, but there is a solid foundation. Hopefully more updates are rolling in soon. If you're looking for a brand new single-player horror experience, next up we got an awesome game called Living Nightmares Falls Familiar. So this one is a first-person atmospheric horror, kind of a walking simulation style of a game that is pretty thin on action, but very heavy on that dark horror vibe. So in this game you play as Carl, a 15-year-old boy home alone at night. You have to wander your steps very carefully through this creepy house, digging through clues, text on your phone, and occasional hallucinations. It's a very short game, single player. You can complete the game within like an hour or so, but if you like indie psychological horror game with a slow burn tension, it's a pretty cool game to check out, and it's totally free to download on Steam. Alright, next up we got a game that I had so much fun playing recently, and it's an awesome boomer shooter called Rune HD. And this game will take you back to the 90s, and it's a super cool combo driven boomer shooter. It's fast paced, action heavy, you have to run through these compact levels, blasting through enemies, chaining kills to keep the combo alive. The game got that old school 90s style pixelated graphics with a very nice flow to the gameplay. You can pick up ammo, switch weapons, and keep moving and rack up style points if you mix things up. There's not much of a story, it's all about action. Visually it nails that 90s style classic vibe, and on top of everything the game is completely free to play. There's no ads, microtransaction or DRM. Plus if you're into modding, you can make your own levels. It comes with about 2D and 3D editor, even include the original Rune Classic for reference. If you're someone who enjoys this classic shooting style from the games like Doom, it's a no-brainer, absolutely worth checking out. The game is totally free to play and also single player, and also you don't have to have a super high-end PC to play this either. I'm sure it works well even with integrated graphics. Alright, moving on to our next game, we got a brand new action adventure game called Numbra. So it's a very cool looking third-person action adventure game with a nice puzzle twist, sort of a slow pace stealth vibe mixed with bit of exploration. If you ever played other games like Limbo or Inside, this game is kind of similar to that. So throughout the game you have to control this young little girl in this dark, creepy world. You'll be sneaking around shadows, solving puzzles and try to escape from lurking creatures. Visually the game looked quite stylish. It's a bit desaturated, kind of dark and haunting. I think it's fit the vibe nicely. The game is totally free to play and single player, so you can completely play the game offline. It's a pretty short game too, will take you around maybe an hour to complete. It's a pretty solid game to jump into, especially if you're into puzzle adventure games. Right now the game is also having 82% very positive reviews on Steam. If you're into more like single player action first person shooter games, next up we got a brand new one called Red Tom. So it's a very short action adventure style of a first person shooter set in this twisted and corrupted looking library, and throughout the game you'll be picking different weapons like repulsor guns, shotguns, even using some environment traps to take down these creepy looking creatures. You have to walk around, scavenge for ammo and supply. It's more of a mix between a boomer shooter and a bit of an immersive sim style of a game, kind of compact into a one. And this library is kind of dark and dystopian and feel like a maze. Sometimes you're lost in it. Visually the game looks surprisingly polished. Sometimes you have to solve different environmental puzzles to get to the next stage. It's pretty cool and all, but you have to be careful with the ammo counter because ammo is pretty limited in this game. On top of that, there are a bunch of weapons and abilities available in your arsenal. All in all, it's a pretty cool looking indie first person shooter that you don't want to miss out right now. It's totally free to play, very short, and you can complete the game single player as well. Alright, next up we got something very popular on the mobile side and finally got a release on Steam, and it is none other than Marvel Contest of Champions. So think of it like a simplified, super combo friendly Marvel fighting game that you can simply download right now for absolutely free, and you can mix and match from more than 300 plus characters. The characters like Spider-Man, Wolverine, Iron Man, you name it. The combat is pretty snappy. You got light, medium and heavy attack, blocks, dodges, plus a very cool looking signature move when you fill up the power bar. So it's very much similar to game like Injustice or Mortal Kombat, but very streamlined and targeted toward more of a casual audience. Visually it nailed that Marvel look with bright bold colors and cinematics, but I personally not the biggest fan of some of the monetization available in the game. It can be a bit of a grindy one compared to some of the other games, but if you're a Marvel fan and love collecting iconic heroes and looking for a simple fighting game with good mechanics, flashy combat and just fun casual gameplay, this is hands down one of the coolest games you can check out right now. Alright, moving on to one of the most anticipated free-to-play games to come out during this month, and that is none other than Persona 5 The Phantom X. I personally am someone who not much into JRPG, anime style games or even turn-based combat style of games, but somehow if you are a big fan of Persona games, this is hands down one of the best brand new games you can jump in right now for absolutely free, and it got that classic turn-based Persona combat, but obviously with some free-to-play elements like gacha mechanics embedded into the game. But honestly, it feels like a mainline Persona game to me with sharp, slick anime cutscenes, stylish UI, modi city environment. No doubt the game has a pretty high production value with smooth combat and a solid story. I personally haven't really played any Persona style game, so I can't really talk about it much, but no doubt it's one of the most popular games to came out this month, and at the time I'm recording this video the game is having more than 36,000 plus daily concurrent players on Steam, and no doubt it's one of the best free to play Persona experience out there right now. Alright, finally we are moving on to the number one spot. We got one of the most surprising games to came out this month. It's no doubt Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, and now it's called Rainbow Six Siege X. And yes, you heard me right, Rainbow Six Siege is now actually free to play. Siege X is built on that classic 5v5 tactical firefight with destructible walls, drones, high-stake breaching, and with this new free-to-play edition, they added a new game mode called Dual Front. It's somewhat different from the round-based 5v5 typical Siege X experience. It's a new 6v6 mode on a massive map, and both teams simultaneously attack and defend with respawns and operator swaps on the fly, adding a bit of a flexibility especially for these free-to-play players. And obviously if you are a free-to-play player, you don't have the access to the full game. You can't play rank mode or any typical game modes available in core Siege. It's pretty similar to PUBG, you don't have the access to the rank mode. But anyway, I personally think it's a very nice addition. Adds a bit of a fresh life to the game with new players coming in. With that also added bunch of overhauls to visuals, audio, and even improved anti-cheat system. So I would say if you're someone who missed Siege or you have been hesitant to jump in, since the game is now free to play, there is no reason not to jump in and check it out. Well, there you have it guys, 10 of the best completely free to play brand new games you can play right now during the month of June. And as always guys, if this video helpful to you, if you find some new games to check out, don't forget to like the video, subscribe and stay tuned to the channel as we cover pretty much all new game releases on every single month. I'll catch you guys soon in the next one. Stay safe.